All right, guys, what's up, team? Okay, guys, so today, let me reshare this. Today we have Nvidia earnings, Nvidia's earnings report and call. Um, right now, the expectations. Let me get the music playing real quick. How's the audio? Audio should be good, right? Yeah, Nvidia down to 159s. Market's slightly red today. Not a huge red day, but slightly red. We will be streaming the full earnings call. You see Nvidia on the right. What's up, Manuel? Liv, Jay. What's up, guys? So my heater came in. Expectations for Nvidia are 67-cent profit per share on 5.8 billion in sales revenue. How's the sound hitting? Sound good? Should be good. Yeah, I would be careful buying anything ahead of earnings. We don't know what the earnings are going to show. You know. Sound is good. Hey, nice. AMD earnings were bad, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if this follows. Yeah, we'll see. Again, I'm slightly bullish, but I don't know, man. I just think Nvidia, if we have to argue extension here, Nvidia is kind of extended on the upside at this point in time over the last couple, months, over the last like month and a few days since, mid October. Nvidia has been on a huge bull run since then, and so in that regard, I think it's plausible for us to pull back some, but again, I'm not 100% sure. We're really just kind of guessing. So yeah, Nvidia earnings are going to drop at 4 p.m. after 4 p.m. So specifically, really at 4:20 p.m. market time is when Nvidia earnings are going to drop. We also have Cisco earnings, Bath and Body Works earnings. Cisco is expected to come in at 84-cent profit on 13.31 billion in sales revenue. Nvidia is minus 18.3% growth. Cisco is 3.2% growth. So Cisco is actually in the green in terms of growth. But yeah, that's essentially what we're getting right now. I can put this monitor down. I would love to. Doesn't look like it's going to. I have to lower this monitor a little bit. I think I would like it if I lowered this monitor, just a small amount. But yeah, we're gonna do a poll here as we always do, as well as a Twitter poll. And so vote on the poll. Bullish or bearish on today's Nvidia earnings. Again, Nvidia is dropping third quarter earnings. And then vote on the poll, bull or bear. On that poll, we got that poll going live. We're also going to do a Twitter poll. Also, we're going to send out our newsletter that we do for earnings. Bouncing up a little bit here. We've mostly been in a bearish trend today. Yeah, so again, looking at our votes, we got 23 votes, 61% are bearish. Again, we are going to do our Nvidia poll as we always do. All right, guys. So again, do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't yet. We appreciate it if you hit the like button when you join the stream. Still got a few minutes until the actual numbers are released here. Again, we're going to do a Twitter poll on calls or puts. Let me know if you would rather have calls or puts right now on Nvidia. Get a little bit of a bounce up here in the stock. You see it on the right side here. Hey, what's up, Xavier? Again, we're going to get ready to send our newsletter out as we do. And again, join our newsletter. It's completely free to sign up to our newsletter. We got hundreds and hundreds of people that are on our newsletter. If you want to join it, I'll post this link. Hey, thank you, Xavier. Yeah, it's completely free to join. It's at beginnertrading.net/memberships. Again, completely free to join. We don't charge a penny for that. We don't charge a penny for anything, that is, So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Everything we do is free. We're getting ready to just send our basic earnings template out. Again, earnings for Nvidia. We'll put these numbers up on screen, what the expectational numbers are for Nvidia. Expectation for Nvidia, 67-cent profit on 5.8 billion in sales revenue. We also have Cisco dropping earnings today as well. Cisco. So Cisco drops earnings today as well. All right, guys. Apple. We got Netflix. Let's see if the market will pop back some here. All right, like I said, we're sending this newsletter out, guys, so y'all be ready. All right, sending our Nvidia newsletter out now. Again, be a part of it. beginnertrading.net/memberships. We appreciate it. I just sent that out. SPY at 395s here. Nvidia is the larger one, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger here. We're also going to pull the chart up so you guys can see it clearly. We're also going to put the expectational numbers for Nvidia on screen here. If it'll let me. So we are going to put the expectational numbers up on screen. All right, so we're gonna put the main. This is the main data coming up on screen here. So there's everything that you can see. Yeah, Pawn's right. I might need to cover. I can either cover it. What I'll probably do is just stand up. And so instead of covering it, I don't even know if we got time. Yeah, thank you, Xavier. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I got some matcha here. It's good. I mean, I could also put like my camera here and see if it'll like miss it, but I still think it's gonna hit it. That'll be a little bit better. I think we'll get hit less. What do you guys think? Is this better? I mean, I know you can't really see me, but is that better? Like if I do it like that? I mean, the sun's not that bad if I do it on this end. Let me know what you guys think will be the better way to do it. Yeah, stapler and a towel, bro. Just give me a nail, you know? Give me a nail on a blanket, you know? Carol would hate me if I did that. I got something I could probably block it with, though. It's hard to find something that'll balance up on the window seal. Because, like, look, this is the window that gets it. Look, I'll show you guys. Y'all see that? That's it right there. You see that window? That's it right there. So the earnings call is 5 p.m. Yasin. So the earnings call is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically, the procedure with earnings is like this. The actual earnings report comes out at 4:20 market time today. 4:20 market time. Following that, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when the actual earnings call is. And so the earnings report with the basic numbers will be released. And then at 5 p.m., they essentially do the earnings call where sometimes the CEO gets involved, all that good stuff. That's basically what happens. Yeah, thank you, Ali B. I appreciate it, man. And so, yeah, we'll stream the full earnings call at 5 p.m., but we're also going to cover the earnings as soon as they drop, as well as Cisco earnings as well. Cisco is expected to come in at 84-cent profit EPS on $13.31 billion in sales revenue. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'm okay with the sun, man. I need, you know, everybody knows I need some sun here. So I'm okay with it. But it does kind of hinder, you know, the view of, you know, me. And so that's the only problem, but all right, guys. So again, let me know what you guys think. Calls or puts. Let's look at the polls. 74 votes. 38% are bullish, 62% are bearish on the YouTube poll. Mostly bears. On Twitter, we got some votes already coming in too. We've got about 50 votes already on Twitter. 71% of Twitter votes are put options. 29% are call options. So mostly bears on Twitter also. Back to the mean on SPY. Yeah, I mean, we're at 395s. I kind of told people not yesterday or not today, but yesterday, I think it was one of those days. It was either yesterday or today. I kind of told people that that 395 was kind of like the milestone level, you know. So if we could hold over 395, I think that's a win for today. You know, we're still pretty green over the last few months. And so in that regard, like, I think as long as we can hold over 395, I think we're doing okay. You know, if we can hold over that, I think we're doing positive. The last Nvidia earnings were, let me check it out. Let me see when the last ones were. The last earnings report for Nvidia dropped on 8/24. 8/24. So let's look back. All right, here, not yet. Let me see. Here was their last earnings report right here. Yeah, 8/24 is when their last earnings report was. And so they didn't really do much. We're not quite at that level now, though. You know, we dipped a little bit prior to that. Here's the last earnings report level. Or no, that's the SPY. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Hold on. Okay, hold on, my bad, guys. 8/24. Well, I was like, man, that didn't move much. 8/24 is right here. Yeah, we're close to it. Here's 8/24. You take the middle range. We're at 171.20s. We're not quite up there now, though. You know, 171. It's kind of way up here. So these are the earnings from last time. So we're close enough to it. We'll see if we tap that level. I mean, we could. It rallied on bad earnings and then crapped out next week. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're getting some votes on Twitter. Again, most people are saying put options on Nvidia. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You know, here's the last 20 days. We're pretty green over the last 20 days as well. I mean, we got all the way down to 117. 117 is where we got down to during this last bear run, which is pretty low. If we look at it deeper than that, here's a 180 chart. We got down to 108 at the lows. So pretty big rebound over the last couple weeks here, really, since mid-October. Look at this rebound period. So we bounced back dramatically here. We did hit some support levels, but the question, you know, I don't think the earnings. I don't think this movement matters too much in terms of what the earnings are going to show. Like, this is psychological movement as opposed to fundamental data release, which is going to be for earnings. So, you know, we'll see if we pop up. If it's good, maybe we'll pop up to 170s. I don't know, though. I'm skeptical, so to speak. Like, I'm a little bit skeptical. Yeah, for sure. All right, team. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Run those likes up. Nvidia 160s. We've got Nvidia 160 20s. So starting to rebound a little bit. Let's watch the volume weighted average price. See if we get some favorable movement there. All right, guys. We got about 20 minutes before the actual earnings are reported. About 20 minutes. Remember, we also have Cisco earnings. We got a bunch of other ones too. All right, we're at 160.05. Starting to bounce back. Let me know what you guys think here. Yeah, earnings reports are free. We're going to cover it live here. I mean, if you think it's a scam, you're looking at it wrong. Like, Top Step is a challenge that's, I think most people are going to fail. But I think it's going to make you a better trader, regardless of whether you fail or not. I think having to follow rules, and I think you have to think about it like some paper trading accounts cost a couple $100. And so what it is a paper account challenge under pressure, you know? And so I think that's a reasonable service. I'm not really going to argue back and forth with you about it, but I think that's a reasonable service. And I think it obviously makes people better traders. I think if you look at it like you know, like you're trying to, if you're having too many expectations for it in terms of like funding and living off the funding, you know, I think you're missing the point of it altogether. Nvidia at 159.90s. So breaking under that 160 level. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? Hey, good luck, bro. Hey, what's up, Dre? I have to close out my positions by 4:15, so I'll check it, Eve. All right, so yeah, earnings aren't scheduled to come out until 4:20. What do you think of earnings, John? So at Beginner Trades is my Twitter. And what I will say is, like, Top Step's the most legitimate funded account program in the world. Like, you could see how many, like, look at the payouts. Like, it's paid out millions of dollars. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, you got to be a good trader. Nobody's going to fund you money unless you're a good trader. You know what I mean? So expecting them to fund losing traders doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, and so it's like people lose and then they get mad because they lose. And instead of being introspective like you should be in that regard, where you kind of say, hey, I need to get better at trading, you instead blame your platform, which is a very immature thing to do. It's just not introspective. You know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can respectfully disagree with each other, and it's all good, Adam. I disagree. I think you have to look at it in terms of it's a challenge. I think I'll put it this way. There are thousands of places like Top Step. Top Step is the most legitimate one, like by far the most legitimate. You know, and it pays out, like, you can look at the payout records. Regardless, it's not really something I'm going to argue about. They're a sponsor of mine, and so of course, like, I'm biased in their favor. I don't really think it's good to argue about it necessarily. SPY rejecting a little bit at the 396 level. So we're back down to 395.60s. Nvidia's kind of following it down. It's at 159.70s. Yeah, jobless claims numbers tomorrow will be really, really interesting. AMD dumped. Yeah, what's AMD doing? I mean, AMD's fallen here for sure. We're at 72.75s for AMD, so it's falling down as well today. Very weak looking. All right, guys. So again, we're rejecting a little bit at 150s. AMD Intel. What's Intel at, man? Last time I looked at Intel, it's been a minute. Yeah, it was at like 25s. It looks like it hasn't done much over the past few months, though. The question is whether there's objective value there. You know, Nvidia falling down. It's at 159.50s. Uh, 159.30s for Nvidia. 159.30s. Where'd my coffee go? There it is. I do believe AMD and Nvidia don't have the same market cap. Well, AMD is a much smaller company than Nvidia, to be honest. If we look at Nvidia market cap is 414 billion. Nvidia is a noticeably larger company than AMD. I'm sure AMD's market cap is much smaller, right? Yeah, it's about a quarter of that. So yeah, AMD is just a smaller company. It's obvious, right? If you think about how many computers, really, this is the way you have to look at it. If you think about how many technology hardware companies include Nvidia products, like what's the standard, which is Nvidia, and then even if AMD might be better technology, Nvidia is still the standard that most gamers and chip and hardware brands use. It's mostly Nvidia, and so it's just a much more it's in so many more products than AMD is. I'm not saying it's better than AMD. AMD it's arguable, but Nvidia is just in more stuff. And so with that, they sell more chips. They include their chips in more stuff. So with that, they're certainly the bigger market cap company by far. Yeah, what's up, Rich? All right, guys. Yeah, we got about 30 seconds before the earnings are set to drop. We're also going to put it in sub-only mode, as we always do. So if you haven't already, hit the sub button, guys. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Announce yourself. Show us you're subscribed. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? Hey, how you doing, brother? Revenue was close, though. I think AMD was 5.5 billion last quarter. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think just the name value of Nvidia is high, which means that psychologically people buy it up a little bit more. But I know AMD, it's definitely arguable that AMD has the better product. That's definitely a good argument. Hey, thank you, Bulldog. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm a member over at your channel. I was gonna be like, I think I'm subbed to Bulldog Trading, right? Yeah, y'all go check out Bulldog Trading. Good content, guys. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know I'm subbed over there. There you go. All right, guys. So Nvidia 159. Again, earnings aren't actually scheduled to drop. Earnings aren't actually scheduled to drop for another, 20 minutes or so, give or take. So schedule-wise, they're not supposed to drop until 4:20 market time. And then the actual earnings report is supposed to happen at 5 p.m. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, we're streaming the earnings call as well. Hey, what's up, John? Yeah, y'all check out Bulldog Trading. Good content over there. Friend of the channel. They have some fun poker games every Friday. Y'all check them out. I could try to make this Friday's poker game. Bulldog, let me know. Maybe some of y'all can join us too if y'all want to BS with this on chat. But Nvidia 159. So again, earnings aren't actually scheduled to drop until 4:20 market time, as you guys can see on screen. Oh, where? Oh, no, I got Bulldogs. Yeah, look. So 4:20 is when it's scheduled. Hey, good luck, Bull. Nvidia gonna rip the 200 tonight? No way, crypto. Nvidia might go up, but it ain't hitting 200. That's so far outside the realm of possibility. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, Nvidia ain't hitting 400 today, bro. There's no way. Just no chance. Zero chance of that happening. Also, if you haven't already, guys, give me a follow on Twitter. At Beginner Trades is our Twitter handle. We do great polls. We post funny memes. We cover. We repost a lot of the big breaking news that happens in markets. And we're also doing a PlayStation Xbox giveaway for November, where if you follow, retweet, like the post, you could win. We're going to pick one random person at the end of the month. I don't know how I'm going to pick the person, though. If I look at it, I'm going to be biased, and I feel like I need to be unbiased. And so what I might do is just kind of get a bunch of different votes from independent people and let like multiple people vote on who they like the best in terms of their meme. I think that's a fair way to do it. All right, guys. Nvidia still consolidating on 159s. It's at Beginner Trades, guys. At Beginner Trades is my Twitter. Yeah, for sure. Cisco could report a share fall off in order. Yeah. Oh, wait. Isn't Cisco out yet? Cisco drops in 2 minutes, right? At 4:05. Let me make sure they're not out yet. I don't want to miss that. Yeah, but Cisco drops at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, Nvidia at 159s. Nvidia trying to hold. We'll see how this impacts the market too. I think it's probably going to more broadly impact the Q as opposed to the SPY because the Q is more tech heavy in that regard. So we can look at the Q here. I think this is going to get impacted more by Nvidia than the SPY is, right? Just because tech's going to have more sympathy movement in Nvidia and chip makers. So FTX says that Sam Bankman-Fried does not speak on behalf of FTX, FTX US, or Alameda. Y'all are a little late, bro. Like, okay, if you're gonna be like, nah, we don't know Sam. Like, you know, he's not us, guys. He's not us, bro. He is you, okay? And he is the one. He's the one that's been pulling all the strings. Like, maybe not right now. Y'all are trying to separate yourself from him, but the damage is done. I don't think anything he's saying now is, you know. My theory on Sam Bankman-Fried is that your boy is just kind of a gambler. I think he's just got the gambling itch. Like I said, he plays League of Legends. I'm not knocking League of Legends players, but like for people that don't understand the gaming niche, there's a lot of gambling that goes down over there. Like a lot of it goes down. Q pop it up a little bit. Cisco earnings. Let's see if they're out. Here's Cisco. Yeah, Cisco flying up here after their earnings report. Let's see what they showed up as. All right, so Cisco numbers did drop. 65-cent EPS down 7%. Non-GAAP EPS was 86 cents. They moved up, and now they're reversing big. EPS was 84 cents, adjusted EPS. It's moving so fast. Yeah, first quarter adjusted EPS was 86 cents. What were they expecting? On 84-cent expectations, so slightly better than expected for Nvidia at 86 cents versus 84 cents expectations. Revenue of 13.6 billion compared to 13.3 billion, so a little bit better than expected here. It looks like they also had guidance that was a little bit lower than or they had guidance. All right, so here's the base numbers for Cisco. There's the base numbers for Cisco. Again, their guidance numbers came out as well. I don't know what the expectations were for guidance, but they are flying up right now. Look at them. Yeah, Nvidia's not out yet. They're not going to be dropping. Nvidia's not really doing much. It's just kind of chopping back and forth. You'll know. Look at Cisco, though. Cisco all the way up to $47 a share here. Wow. So, again, Cisco beat estimates. You can see the numbers on screen. I'm trying to see what the expectations for guidance were. What were the guidance numbers? We showed second quarter EPS guidance for Cisco for next quarter at 59 to 64 cent EPS. Fiscal year guidance at 263 to 276. Second quarter adjusted EPS guidance of 84 to 86 cents. Fiscal year adjusted EPS of 351 to 358. But I don't know what the actual guidance numbers were. Now, we had better than expected sales revenue and better than expected EPS for Cisco, and we're moving up. We don't actually have Nvidia numbers yet. We got to wait for Nvidia numbers. But this is going to drag Nvidia up some too. So you can see they're all tech related, right? So Cisco had better than expected results, and they are up to 46.30s. And then Nvidia is at 159s, starting to head back up just from the positive movement that we're going to get. And not just tech, but the broader stock market. Cisco, it's a big cap company, but and it's going to move the market up. There goes Nvidia up to 160.5s here. I'm trying to see what other earnings dropped. Sono came in at 32-cent loss, better than the 43-cent loss estimate. So again, Cisco came in better than expected. Sono came in better than expected. And now Nvidia doesn't drop for another 12 minutes, give or take. So we got to kind of just wait for Nvidia numbers to pop out. But yeah, Cisco having big numbers here. All right, so again, Nvidia is mostly neutral. Yeah, just reach out to me. Trading with a dummy at beginnertrading@gmail.com. Just message me, man. But yeah, Cisco at 46. All right, guys. So Cisco at 46.50s here. We got Nvidia at 159.70s. Still waiting. No numbers out yet. Yeah, it's Sonos. Yeah, it's the audio company. Sono. S-O-N-O. They dropped. Sono dropped 50-cent loss per share. Revenue of $316.3 million in sales revenue. So Sono actually beat those. So yeah, so here's the Sono numbers. We're going to put them in chat. They're right there. Again, Cisco at 46.80s here. Moving up to 47. We'll see if we actually break it. Nvidia right around 59 whole dollar level. We got 160 right above us too. So here's 159. There's 160, some 160.50 or so, right around there. So we'll look at that top. Right here, Javier. I mean, we'll put a link up to the report if you guys want to see it. But we're gonna cover the actual EPS numbers and sales revenue when it drops. Yeah, I think the reason Cisco is going up is because of guidance numbers, Chef. I'm not sure what the expectations for guidance were, but they did drop a lot of guidance numbers. And considering the fact that they're up, I'm just going to assume that the guidance came in better than expected. You know, I mean, it beat on EPS and sales revenue, but guidance numbers, I'm assuming, was positive, but I'm not 100% sure. SPY just popped over 396, and then we have Nvidia still at 159. Yeah, all good, Matt. No worries, bro. We did recently break 92,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. We're going to keep growing, and, you know, we're already up to about 92.1K. Let's hopefully we can hit 93 soon. Y'all subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded account program in futures. I was talking to somebody earlier about TopStep. What people have to understand is that TopStep is going to make you a better trader. It's only it's like 130 something a month. paper trading platforms cost the same. You know, in a lot of places, you could get a paper trading platform for roughly the same price. And so what this is, it's paper trading, but if you can follow their rules and you show potential, so if you can follow their rules, hit their profit target without hitting their max loss, and pass both phases, then they'll fund you between $50,000 up to $150,000 with a 90% split. There's no PDT in futures, and it's a great way to get your feet wet in the futures market without risking a ton. I think when you think about it from that perspective, it makes tons of sense. It ultimately makes you a better trader. Like, I've been trading for years. Top Step definitely made me a better trader. And again, it's one of those things that it just teaches you. It allows you to test yourself as a trader. You gotta follow discipline rules. There's a max loss. There's a minimum amount of days that it takes, which is I think it's like a week. But it just helps you become a better trader. And if you want to check them out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. You get 20% off. They are a sponsor of mine, and so naturally I'm biased in their favor. But hey, if you want to check them out, there's the link. Hey, thank you, John. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, we broke 92K. Still waiting on Nvidia earnings. They should drop in about 7 minutes, I'm assuming. 7 minutes. All right, guys. SPY started a rebound. At 159.19, Cisco at 46.50s. Yeah, so Cisco, big positive movement here. I'm assuming. What's up with that big Tesla flush, though? It's. Let me look. Yeah, I really don't know what's up with that Tesla flush. That is strange. That's a big candle wick, man. That candle wick went from like 187s to 184 and then back up. That's a strange movement here. The only thing I'm assuming is tech is influencing, and maybe is Tesla related to Cisco in any way? All right, consolidating, guys. We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Could be dark pool print. Yeah, that could be it. All right. Here, I'm gonna see Rosie real quick. Hold on, come here, baby. That's my dog, Rosie. Come here. Can you jump up? Yeah, come here.
There's the corner right there.
Yeah. Oh, this is Rosie. That's a good girl. Yeah, good girl. Yeah. All right. That's Rosie. Yeah, I don't think it's linked to Cisco. I'm not sure. It's a strange wick though. The wick that we got there is different. You know, it's not really. It's not like a rogue order getting filled from, you know, anything like that. It's just strange. Nvidia numbers aren't out yet. No. Yeah, there's Rosie right there. Cisco food related. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. We're at 159s for Nvidia right now. The 159s. Again, we'll see if we hold. Eye is itching. But yeah, so Nvidia's still at 159. Nothing yet. They're supposed to drop in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Wait, so the Blue Jays traded Teoscar Hernandez? I mean, they got Vladdy. They got Bo, you know. But I don't know, man. We're at 159s for Nvidia. All right, we're at 159.20s here. Cisco at 46.50s. About 2 minutes. John Wicks. Yeah, I've heard that a lot, actually. No, good news is not bad news in this way. Not in this way. Like, earnings are usually going to have positive sympathy, like a strong correlation, strong positive correlation. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all can have Verlander. I think Verlander's good. The Blue Jays are good. I mean, Verlander's good, but he chokes in World Series. I know his last game kind of redeemed himself. And he's good, but he's old, man. He's old, you know. And I think the Astros can have. The Astros got such a strong bullpen; it doesn't matter. Like, we've got the best bullpen in baseball. You know, we've got the best pitching in baseball, not just bullpen, but starters as well. You know, we got Fromber, Javier. You know, so like we're good. All right, we're at 159s right now on Nvidia 159s. Hey, all good, Buff. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys, here's the Nvidia numbers. They should be dropping right now. We're waiting. Nothing yet, though. I see some movement here leading up to this, but I don't see the actual report, so they're not actually out yet. So you'll see it when it moves. We're still waiting. Nvidia hasn't come out with theirs yet. Again, y'all friends, subscribe if you have not. Subscribe if you have not, team. We appreciate it. All right, there's the drop. Big drop in earnings. 27-cent EPS for Nvidia. 27-cent EPS on 32 cents. 67-cent expected. Noticeably worse than expected. Again, adjusted EPS came in at 58 cents, worse than the 67-cent estimate. So again, adjusted EPS 58 cents, worse than the 67-cent estimate. Revenue came in at 5.93 versus 5.8 billion. So mixed results here, to be honest. Mixed results. EPS came in a little bit lower. Sales revenue came in higher. So better than expected sales revenue, and Nvidia's ripping up from it. It's at 164s right now. But again, we did have mixed results. Better than expected sales revenue, worse than expected EPS. EPS was expected at 67 cents. We showed 58 cents. Sales revenue came in at 5.93 billion versus 5.8 billion expected here. So mixed results, but it's being interpreted as positive here. And we'll put the numbers up on screen so you guys can see it. There's the Nvidia numbers on right underneath us here. And the market is moving up with this. We're starting to turn a little bit. Yeah, SPY's going to follow it up. It's not going to go. The SPY's not going to counter. All right, fourth quarter revenue, 6 billion versus 6.09 billion expected. So revenue came in slightly lower than expected here. We'll put these numbers up on screen as well. Hold on. Yeah, again, slightly lower. put that up. So 6.09 was expected. They came in at 6 billion for guidance numbers. So slightly worse guidance than expected here. Fourth quarter revenue came in at 6 billion plus or minus 2% versus 6.13 billion analyst expectations. So 0.13 worse than expected. Third quarter data center revenue came in at 3.83 billion, up 31% year over year. Fourth quarter GAAP and non-GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles, is what GAAP stands for. Gross margins are expected to be at 63.2% and 66% respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. Fourth quarter rev is expected to be at 6 billion plus or minus 2%, and mostly Nvidia is reacting positively here. We're at 163.3, so we're trying to react. It looks like we're reacting somewhat positively here. So again, we'll see if it actually holds, but we are reacting somewhat positively now. Third quarter data center revenue came in at 3.83 billion versus 3.81 billion. So data center revenue came in a little bit higher than expected. SPY's pumped all the way up to almost 397s now. If we look at the SPY on the left, it is moving up. It's following Nvidia up to a certain extent. It's been, it reacted positively. You see when the earnings came out here and we kind of moved up big and then kind of consolidated. So we're just kind of sitting there now. The actual earnings call doesn't start for another 35 minutes or so, but it does start soon. Yeah. Okay. Y'all subscribe here. Listen, you see how fast we cover that? We cover that incredibly fast, guys. I'm not going to pressure you to subscribe, but if you don't, I'll hate you forever. Okay, subscribe now. Do it now, guys. You see how fast we cover this? Listen, where else can you get data this quick? Hit the sub button. We do this for free right here. We don't sell a course service. We don't claim to be experts. We give you free data. I mean, that's an easy sub right there. Do it now. But yeah, overall, everything came in mostly positive. I'm gonna put a lot of these data points on screen. Earnings right underneath me, guys. Hey, thank you, Jason. Can they give good guidance? I don't know. I mean, their guidance wasn't good. Their guidance was lower than expected. Guidance came in at, I saw it earlier. Yeah, guidance came in at 6 billion plus or minus 2% versus 6.09 billion expected. So guidance came in worse than expected. A little bit worse, slightly lower, but not by much. But it was lower guidance than expected. Again, guys, okay, I'll put it this way. All right, here's something that I see very, very common in here. Very, very common. I see us have data drops, right? Like I see us have data drops like this, where we come in, where jobless claims or earnings or CPI or PPI comes out, right? And I see people who obviously took big polarized positions ahead of these reports, which you should never do. Like that's a gamble. A lot of you know why it's a gamble is because you don't know which way it's gonna go. Like if you're super experienced in trading, like somebody like Bulldog, like do your thing. Like I'm not mad at that. Like he knows what he's talking about, and so I'm sure he's probably making money long term. But for most people, it's just a gamble, and it's not something that you should do. It's just a coin flip a lot of the time. And so then I see after that, it's like after people take these big polarized bets ahead of them, then they're in my chat saying, "Oh, this is BS. This is BS. This is nonsense." And it's like, well, you never know what's going to happen here. Nobody knows unless you've got insider information. You're gambling, taking risky bets ahead of these. It's just a gamble, And listen, if you got the money for it, do your thing. I'm not mad at that, but you got to accept loss when it happens, though. If that's the case, I think. Yep, exactly, Vic. Hey, thank you, Bernardo. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Hey, thank you, DJ. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, shout out to Bernardo. Thank you for the $4 or the $5, brother. I appreciate that. We're gonna stream the 4 earnings call here live as well. So again, you'll be able to watch the 4 earnings call here too. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, and other high-profile celebrities are sued for endorsing FTX. It's not going to go anywhere. Like, you can't get mad at, like, you can't get mad at sponsorees. You know, like, you think that celebrities are really out here using Prilosec OTC in commercials? Like, no, of course not. Are you going to get mad at them if they find some sketchy stuff with Prilosec? No, you can't. You know why? Because Prilosec's just a sponsor of them. You know, you can't get mad at the people they're sponsoring. That's ridiculous. That's silly. That's not how marketing works. You know, get mad at marketing in general, not, you know, the people who are getting sponsored by these companies. It's just not reasonable. Should you not look into your sponsors? Yeah, you should. But if a large majority of people look at it and think it's safe, then it looked safe. You know what I mean? So you can't really knock the celebrities for endorsing it. You know. Nobody saw this coming. I'll put it. Or some people saw it coming. I'll rephrase, but most people look at it thought it was okay. You know. Hey, thank you. Nice, Bernardo. Hey, congrats, bro. Call is in 30 minutes. Hey, all good. Just another. Hey, thank you, Xavier. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. We appreciate it. Nothing about that looks safe. Well, regardless of any of that, it was the third largest crypto exchange in the world. And so if you come up, listen, I'll put it this way. If FTX had come up to me and been like, yo, we'll pay you, you know, $500 a day to plug our stock platform, I'd probably look at it and say, okay, well, this is one of the largest stock crypto funds in the world, the largest crypto exchanges in the world, the top 3, as I always say, crypto exchanges in the world. You know, I can't say I wouldn't accept it. You know what I mean? If I'm being objective and honest, you know. And so I think you have to look at it from that light. It's not, again, there's a lot of companies that fail. You can't get mad at the people they sponsor. You know, now if they own that company, that's different. You know, if they're owners in the company, that's completely different. You know, because then your company's out here screwing over people, but you can't get mad at the sponsorees, so to speak. That makes sense. All right, Nvidia pull it back to the VWAP here. All right, at 160s right now, 160s. All right, starting to dip a little bit. Nvidia says sequential growth in Q3 data center revenue was impacted by softness in China. Says that they believe recent transition in verifying Ethereum crypto transactions from proof of work to proof of stake has reduced utility of GPUs for crypto mining. Obviously, the ETH merge is going to have a negative impact on Nvidia. Obviously, the ETH merge, to explain it this way, okay, one of the biggest uses for Nvidia chips are miners, right? Crypto miners. What crypto miners do is basically guess numbers until they hit the number. It's for Bitcoin. It's a mineable cryptocurrency called proof of work, right? So it basically tracks the history on the blockchain back to when it was mined originally, right? And so these miners are basically guessing algorithms, trying to find these different cryptocurrency, or guessing these crypto that are out there until they find one, and then they've mined that cryptocurrency, and then blockchain basically tracks the entire history chain of that one specific cryptocurrency. Anyways, that's one part of crypto. It's called proof of work. It's mineable cryptocurrencies, and ETH, which is the second largest crypto in the world, was a proof of work cryptocurrency. Recently, it did what's called a merge, where it changed from what's called proof of work, which is mineable, to proof of stake, which is having different stakeholders in the cryptocurrency itself, right? And so what that did was that made Ethereum, ETH, not mineable anymore. And so people didn't need miners in that regard. People that are out here mining up ETH, they're no longer able to do so because it's not a proof of work cryptocurrency anymore. It's instead what's called a proof of stake cryptocurrency. Now, that ETH merge went through in September during this last quarter. And because of that, as this is suggesting, that severely limited the amount of, it severely limited the need for Nvidia chips in a lot of places. Now, in hindsight, it was still a relatively small little blip in their business model, but it is significant. It is something to pay attention to. Let me know what you guys think about the ETH merge and what that means for Nvidia's future here. Yeah, so Nvidia is pretty neutral from the earnings report. It's up slightly from it, but it's mostly neutral here. Yeah, their guidance is a little bit lower than expected. Oh, well, yeah, the yields were ridiculous. And I never really got involved in that because I didn't think leaving my money in those things were safe like that. But, it's one of those things where, like, a crypto platform can offer those type of yields. And I think most of them do. And so I think eventually you become less sensitive to it. Like, eventually you become it's just kind of business as usual, right? And I think that makes people overlook certain risks in cryptocurrency that are there, that just because it's so commonplace, if that makes sense, But yeah, it's one of those things where I never promoted FTX. I never used FTX. I didn't have a cent in crypto on FTX. In hindsight, I'm very lucky to not have, done anything. I'm pretty flat in crypto right now as a whole because I think there's just, I think crypto is risky right now. All right, Nvidia started to bounce back up. It's at 161s. Again, we are going to stream the full earnings call. It goes live pretty soon. In about 25 minutes. All right, guys. All right, guys. So all right, Nvidia started to rip back up. Almost back up to 162s now. So the actual earnings call. So basically, what happens is the company releases their actual earnings report at 4 p.m. market time. So after the opening bell or after the closing bell, they release their actual report. Following that, they release their earnings call, which a lot of the time the CEO will talk about. Sometimes they'll set future projections and stuff like that, but not really many new numbers are going to pop up during these earnings calls. It's just not really how they go. So it's something that you just want to. It's something that you can use to judge sentiment for next quarter, see what the CEO's thinking, all that stuff, and that'll influence it a little bit to it, like I said, some Saints are starting Andy Dalton. Don't do it, man. We need a QB, bro. The only good thing about not doing great this year is maybe we'll get us some good draft picks. All right, sorry. No, it's not a pit bull. It is a German Shepherd. So this is her right here. All right, and look at Nvidia pop up. It's at 162.50s. John, do you think the numbers are good? Not necessarily. I think they're kind of mixed. You know, I don't think they're great. I don't think they're terrible. I think they're just kind of mixed. It could be worse. It could be better. It could be interpreted as better. Could be. We could have a better reaction. We could have a worse reaction. We're kind of middle ground, neutral. All right, guys, starting to pop back up. We're at 163s right now for Nvidia, so we're starting to move back up. We got 20 minutes here. Hey, what's up, Noel? Hey, what's up, Matt? Hey, what's up, y'all? Drop a like for our boy John if you haven't done so already. Hey, thank you, brother. Yeah, I don't think. I think it depends on how you look at it. Like, earnings aren't going to negatively impact the market. Like, it's not going to be something where we have good earnings for a company and the SPY is going to go down. You know, from those earnings. More so, most of the time they have a positive correlation. You know, but the market's not going to get dragged down. At least not from my experience. Maybe it's something like that, but from my experience, it's not usually what happens. Hey, for sure, Joshua. We'll see. So my puts this morning, I'm guessing you meant Brenda. Foot Locker. Hey. All right, guys. So again, Nvidia at 163, SPY at 396. SPY sitting right around 396. Again, the actual earnings call starts in about 19 minutes. Bitcoin market up or down? I'm sure the Bitcoin market's probably going to be moving up with it. It's probably going to have a positive correlation with probably going to have a positive correlation, I'm assuming, with Nvidia here, you know. Like Bitcoin's probably going to be moving up with crypto. We are going to be doing a crypto show today as well. Okay, so we're not really seeing much good movement here. Yeah, so it looks like we've actually reacted kind of negatively from Nvidia earnings here. Or maybe Bitcoin is just dropping down ahead of that from something, but Bitcoin's still down 16.5K. So Nvidia had lower than expected guidance. Basically, Nvidia posted here's Nvidia's numbers right here. Nvidia posted 58-cent EPS, which is profitability. When you hear EPS, just think profitability. That's a gauge on how profitable the company is. With that, they also dropped better than expected sales revenue. So mixed results is what this is considered. You know, we have lower than expected, like worse profitability. So a company was not quite as profitable as they initially wanted. Or initially expected, rather. Sales came in higher than expected, though. You know, sales was a slight beat. EPS was, you know, a miss, like a mid to small to mid-sized miss in terms of profitability. So sales revenue is growth, and so in terms of growth, they came in a little bit better than expected. Really, is what you want to like. Sales revenue is how much they're growing. You know. Essentially, EPS is profitability, right? So it's how profitable the market is. Guidance came in worse than expected. They expected 6.09 billion in fourth quarter revenue. They're only projecting now 6 billion, so plus or minus 2%. So guidance came in a little bit worse than expected, but not by much. It's basically on par. But they mostly reacted positively. Well, yeah, earnings sometimes just don't make sense, man. Earnings sometimes just don't make any sense. You know, you think they might, but a lot of the time they just don't. You know, it's one of the reasons, like, I never take any big positions ahead of them because there's just too much risk in doing so. You know what I mean? There's just no risk. There's no point in doing it. Again, y'all give me a follow on Twitter, guys. We post a lot of this stuff on Twitter. We do polls on Twitter, so if you kind of want to participate in our Twitter, you know, polls and questions and kind of activity, join and follow us on Twitter. On market, yeah. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes before the actual earnings call starts. 15. Right, so Binance is now saying they're interested in buying Genesis loan book. Bro, Binance needs to get away from Genesis, okay? Binance, everything it says it wants to buy, it always ends up crashing down. And it never really fully intends on buying it. It just wants to act interested so it can see their books and then, you know. All right, guys. So Nvidia 162s. Nvidia earnings chopped in half, along with gaming sales as chip maker is, quote, adapting. Nvidia reported third quarter net income of $608 million, 27 cents a share, compared with $2.46 billion or 97 cents a share in the year ago period. Adjusted earnings, which excludes stock-based compensation expenses and other items, 58 cents a share, 117 a year ago. Revenue 5.93 from 7.1 billion a year ago. I mean, a lot of this is kind of expected, though. because of a lot of this is expected though because of the ETH merge is going to kind of take a lot of their stuff away. Sheesh, man, the stuff you see on Twitter, bro. It's like I'm scrolling through stock news, and it's like they show these doctors like saving this baby. Man, that's heavy. Good for them though. That's great. Coinbase says that they have 15 million's worth of deposits on FTX to facilitate. Coinbase says that they have 15 million worth of deposits on FTX to facilitate business operation and client trades, according to Reuters. Crypto payments with USDC now on Apple Pay. All right, guys, 11 minutes here, team. 11 minutes. All right, guys, we're at 163s for Nvidia. Starting to move back up a little bit, consolidating right over the volume-weighted average price. Oh, what's up, team? Can you do a straddle on Nvidia by a call and put? Not sure if you can do it in after hours. Not right now. It's only available during market hours. So yeah, you can't do options right now. It's only available during actual market hours. All right, guys. Again, we got 10 minutes left. Earnings call starts in 10 minutes. Yeah, no good. No worries, Michael. That was a mark. All right, guys. Well, 162.50s again. SPY is just kind of back and forth. Very small range on the SPY right now. You can see 396s between 395 and 890, and 396 has been the range really over the last like 20 minutes or so. So we'll see if we break out of that range, but the range is pretty small on the SPY. Nvidia is at 162.40, so that's trying to move as well. All right, guys, 162.40s here. SPY starting to pop up. It's back over 396s. It's at 396.16. Yeah, so we're at 162.50s here. SPY at 396. Dude, this matcha is good. All right, guys, 6 minutes. Hey, let's do this. Let me see. Let me make sure we get this right. There we go. Bro, they always got the worst hold music. There we go. All right, we're ready. We're in here. I'm just kind of sitting back waiting. This is quarter 3. Last time we accidentally played the wrong one. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're in quarter 3 for Nvidia. Y'all can hear the music, correct? Let me just make sure. Y'all can hear the music, right? Yeah, we're in quarter 3. Starts in 5 minutes. Yeah, matcha's good, man. You put a little bit of cinnamon in there. You get some milk. You can afford food. My food is an option. Well, you're gambling, sir. If you're trading with money you don't have, you're gambling. I always tell people, like, you get really nervous ahead of positions. You take huge, big, polarized trades. You know, you get butterflies in your stomach every time you trade. You're probably gambling, you know. Music is there. Okay, good. Credit Suisse rating reaffirmed as outperform. What is Credit Suisse stock? Is it a CS? It's been a while. They had a big disaster earlier in the year. I haven't looked at it since then. 4 minutes, guys. IONQ. Yeah, I don't. Any penny stock I usually stay away from, and they're too manipulated. Regardless of whether there's some like good ones and some bad ones, they're just so manipulated. A lot of the time, it's just not worth it. You know. Yeah, I have a frother, Liana. I do. So I have a frother. We have one. It's one of those little sticks that you turn on and it kind of spins. You know, like we got one of those. They're good. I use them. You know. Credit Suisse. Yeah, so again, less than 3 minutes, guys. Or less than 4 minutes, about 3 minutes now. Yeah, they're good for sure. Yeah, we use one of those. We froth our coffee too. Like, listen, I start this live stream at like 4:30 in the morning, every morning, my time. So I get up at 4:30. I start the live stream at 5:15. I'm sorry, 5:15 in the morning is when I start the stream. And so we get up early, you know. It's one of those things where we get up super early every morning. And so I'm starting to turn into a coffee person just from that alone. I never really was a coffee person all the way up until I was like 30. Once I hit 30, I started drinking more coffee. You also check out Chart Prime. I said you also. Check out Chart Prime, guys. Chart Prime, they are a sponsor of mine. Really cool service. If we pull up the SPY, for instance, I like using their candlestick indicator. You can see this. Like, this thing is really nice at predicting bottoms. Even just recently on the SPY, look at this. It identifies all the bullish or bearish candlesticks. Look at the 2 bullish engulfing candles and then huge bounce. You know, and this will do this over and over again. There's a ton of more stuff that you can use here with Chart Prime. Like, you can also use it with like their market oracle, which is like a predictive algorithm. You can see the bottoms here. Look at another bottom right here. It literally predicted the exact bottom bounce. 2 bottoms, bounce, and possible reversal up, huge bounce. Possible reversal down, big drop. And so you can see how accurate it is. Reversal up, bounce. And so again, it's called Chart Prime. You can check out the link in the description. Great way to help support the channel. Let's get ready for the earnings call. Starts in less than 2 minutes. How do you keep your marriage intact, John, with these hours? My marriage is good, man. Listen, I'm done working by like 9:20 in the morning. Like, yeah, during earnings season, we work a little bit during the day too, like right now. But like on a normal day, I'm done working at like 9:30 in the morning. Like Carol goes and drops the kids off from school, and then I can hang out with her and do whatever we want. We go out and do stuff after that. So it's actually a really ideal situation. Like like I can work 6 or 7 hours in the morning, and then by the time like Carol's just getting started with her day, I've worked 6 or 7 hours, and so then I can kind of do whatever we want. It's actually really nice, the hours. So I don't mind getting up early because of that. All right, guys, but yeah, we do have Nvidia's earnings call starting in less than a minute. Okay, all good, JJ. Yeah, no worries, man. All right, let's get it started. All right, so you can hear the music. And we're going to go ahead and get ready here. We're going to put this up. All right, guys. So we're sitting listening to this terrible hold music. Bath and Body Works. Hey, I always get that in Bed Bath and mixed up. It's a bad move, BG. It's a bad move, bro. I mean, I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. Again, day trading, don't spend money day trading, you know. Like paper trade until you're truly profitable, and most people rush into it, but like don't spend your money day trading. Day trading is almost nobody wins, you know. I day trade, but like it's one of those things where it took me years to learn, you know, and so only uh, trading is a luxury of the rich. It really is.
And I will be your
Anyways,
conference
here's the
operator
earnings call,
today.
guys. Love you all. We'll see
At
you guys
this
in a little bit.
time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Nvidia's third quarter earnings call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question
good?
and answer session.
Sound check.
If you
Sound
would like
good.
to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, again, press the star 1. Thank you. Simona Jankowski, you may begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the third quarter of fiscal 2023. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the fourth quarter and fiscal 2023. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made as of today, November 16th, 2022, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thanks, Simona. Q3 revenue was $5.93 billion, down 12% sequentially and down 17% year on year. We delivered record data center and automotive revenue, while our gaming and pro visualization platforms declined as we worked through channel inventory corrections and challenging external conditions. Starting with data center, revenue of $3.83 billion was up 1% sequentially and 31% year on year. This reflects very solid performance in the face of macroeconomic challenges, new export controls, and lingering supply chain disruptions. Year on year, growth was driven primarily by leading U.S. cloud providers and a broadening set of consumer internet companies for workloads such as large language models, recommendation systems, and generative AI. As the number and scale of public cloud computing and internet service companies deploying NVIDIA AI grows, our traditional hyperscale definition will need to be expanded to convey the different end market use cases. We will align our data center customer commentary going forward accordingly. Other vertical industries such as automotive and energy also contributed to growth with key workloads relating to autonomous driving, high-performance computing, simulations, and analytics. During the quarter, the U.S. government announced new restrictions impacting exports of our A100 and H100-based products to China and any product destined for certain systems or entities in China. These restrictions impacted third quarter revenue, largely offset by sales of alternative products into China. That said, demand in China more broadly remains soft, and we expect that to continue in the current quarter. We started shipping our flagship H100 data center GPU based on the new Hopper architecture in Q3. H100-based systems are available starting this month from leading server makers including Dell, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, Lenovo, and Supermicro. Early next year, the first H100-based cloud instances will be available on Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. H100 delivered the highest performance and workload versatility for both AI training and inference in the latest MLPerf industry benchmarks. H100 also delivers incredible value compared to the previous generation. For equivalent AI performance, it offers 3x lower total cost of ownership while using 5x fewer server nodes and 3.5x less energy. Earlier today, we announced a multi-year collaboration with Microsoft to build an advanced cloud-based AI supercomputer to help enterprises train, deploy, and scale AI, including large state-of-the-art models. Microsoft Azure will incorporate our complete AI stack, adding tens and thousands of A100 and H100 GPUs, Quantum 2 400 gigabit per second InfiniBand networking, and the Nvidia AI Enterprise software suite to its platform. Oracle and Nvidia are also working together to offer AI training and inference at scale to thousands of enterprises. This includes bringing to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure the full Nvidia accelerated computing stack and adding tens of thousands of Nvidia GPUs, including the A100 and H100. Cloud-based high-performance computing company Rescale is adopting NVIDIA AI Enterprise and other software to address the industrial scientific community's rising demand for AI in the cloud. NVIDIA AI will bring new capability to Rescale's high-performance computing as a service offerings, which includes simulation and engineering software used across industries. Networking posted strong growth driven by hyperscale customers and easing supply constraints. Our new Quantum 2 40 gigabit per second InfiniBand and Spectrum Ethernet networking platforms are building momentum. We achieved an important milestone this quarter with VMware, whose leading server virtualization platform, vSphere, has been re-architected over the last 2 years to run on DPUs and now supports our Bluefield DPUs. Our joint enterprise AI platform is available first on Dell PowerEdge servers. The Bluefield DPU design win pipeline is growing, and the number of infrastructure software partners is expanding, including Arista, Checkpoint, Juniper, Palo Alto Networks, and Red Hat. The latest top 500 list of supercomputers released this week at Supercomputing 22 has the highest ever number of NVIDIA-powered systems, including 72% of the total and 90% of new systems on the list. Moreover, NVIDIA powers 23 of the top 30 of the Green 500 list, demonstrating the energy efficiency of accelerated computing. The number one most energy efficient system is the Flatiron Institute's Henry, which is the first top 500 system featuring our H100 GPUs. At GTC, we announced the Nvidia Omniverse Computing System, or OVX, reference designs featuring the new L40 GPU based on the Ada Lovelace architecture. These systems are designed to build and operate 3D virtual worlds using Nvidia Omniverse Enterprise. Nvidia OVX systems will be available from Inspur, Lenovo, and Supermicro by early 2023. Lockheed Martin and Jaguar Land Rover will be among the first customers to receive OVX systems. We are further expanding our AI software and services offerings with Nvidia and BioNeMo large language model services, which are both entering early access this month. These enable developers to easily adapt large language models and deploy customized AI applications for content generation, text summarization, chatbox, code development, protein structure, and biomolecular property predictions. Moving to gaming. Revenue of $1.57 billion was down 23% sequentially and down 51% from a year ago, reflecting lower sell-in to partners to help align channel inventory levels with current demand expectations. We believe channel inventories are on track to approach normal levels as we exit Q4. Sell-through for our gaming products was relatively solid in the Americas and EMEA, but softer in Asia-Pac as macroeconomic conditions and COVID lockdowns in China continued to weigh on consumer demand. Our new Ada Lovelace GPU architecture had an exceptional launch. The first Ada GPU, the GeForce RTX 4090, became available in mid-October amid tremendous demand and positive feedback from the gaming community. We sold out quickly in many locations and are working hard to keep up with demand. The next member of the Ada family, RTX 4080, is available today. The RTX 40 series GPUs features DLSS 3, the neural rendering technology that uses AI to generate entire frames for faster gameplay. Our third generation RTX technology has raised the bar for computer graphics and helped supercharge gaming. For example, the 15-year-old classic game Portal, now reimagined with full ray tracing and DLSS 3, has made it on Steam's top 100 most wish-listed games. The total number of RTX games and applications now exceeds 350. There is tremendous energy in the gaming community that we believe will continue to fuel strong fundamentals over the long term. The number of simultaneous users on Steam just hit a record of 30 million, surpassing the prior peak of 28 million in January. Activision's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 set a record for the franchise with more than 800 million in opening weekend sales, topping the combined box office openings of movie blockbusters Top Gun Maverick and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this month's League of Legends World Championship in San Francisco sold out in minutes, with 18,000 esports fans packed the arena where the Golden State Warriors play. We continue to expand the GeForce Now cloud gaming service. In Q3, we added over 85 games to the library, bringing the total to over 1,400. We also launched GeForce Now on the new gaming devices, including Logitech Cloud G handheld, cloud gaming Chromebooks, and Razer 5G Edge. Moving to ProViz. Revenue of $200 million was down 60% sequentially and down 65% from a year ago, reflecting lower sell-in to partners to help align channel inventory levels with the current demand expectations. These dynamics are expected to continue in Q4. Despite near-term challenges, we believe our long-term opportunity remain intact, fueled by AI, simulation, computationally intensive design and engineering workloads. At GTC, we announced Nvidia Omniverse Cloud Services, our first software and infrastructure as a service offering, enabling artists, developers, and enterprise teams to design, publish, and operate metaverse applications from anywhere on any device. Omniverse Cloud Services runs on Omniverse Cloud Computer, a computing system comprised of NVIDIA OVX for graphics and physics simulation, NVIDIA HGX for AI workloads, and the NVIDIA Graphics Delivery Network, a global-scale distributed data center network for delivering low-latency metaverse graphics on the edge. Leaders in some of the world's largest industries continue to adopt Omniverse. Home improvement retailer Lowe's is using it to help design, build, and operate digital twins for their stores. Charter Communications and advanced analytics company, Heavy AI, are creating Omniverse-powered digital twins to optimize Charter's wireless network. And Deutsche Bahn, operator of German's national railway, is using Omniverse to create digital twins of its rail network and train AI models to monitor the network, increasing safety and reliability. Moving to automotive, revenue of $251 million increased 14% sequentially and 86% from a year ago. Growth was driven by an increase in AI automotive solutions as our customers drive Orin-based production ramps continue to scale. Automotive has great momentum and it's on its way to be our next multi-billion-dollar platform. Volvo Cars unveiled the all-new flagship Volvo EX90 SUV powered by the Nvidia Drive platform. This is the first model to use Volvo's software-defined architecture with a centralized core computer containing both Drive Orin and Drive Xavier, along with 30 sensors. Other recently announced design wins and new model introductions include Horizon, Otto, Neo, Polestar, and XPeng. At GTC, we also announced that NVIDIA Drive Thor Superchip, the successor to Orin in our automotive SoC roadmap. Drive Thor delivers up to 2,000 teraflops of performance and leverages technologies introduced in our Grace, Hopper, and Ada architectures. It is capable of running both the automated drive and in-vehicle infotainment systems, simultaneously offering a leap of performance while reducing cost and energy consumption. Drive Thor will be available for automakers' 2025 models, with Geely-owned automaker Zeekr as the first announced customer. Moving to the rest of the P&L, GAAP gross margins was 53.6%, and non-GAAP gross margins was 56.1%. Gross margins reflects $702 million in inventory charges, largely related to lower data center demand in China, partially offset by a warranty benefit of approximately $70 million. Year on year, GAAP operating expenses were up 31%, and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 30%, primarily due to higher compensation expenses related to headcount growth and salary increases, and higher data center infrastructure expenses. Sequentially, both GAAP and non-GAAP operating expense growth was in the single-digit %, and we plan to keep it relatively flat at these levels over the coming quarters. We returned $3.75 billion to shareholders in the form of share repurchases and cash dividends. At the end of Q3, we had approximately $8.3 billion remaining under our share repurchase authorization through December 2023. Let me turn to the outlook for the fourth quarter of fiscal 2023. We expect our data center revenue to reflect early production shipments of the H100, offset by continued softness in China. In gaming, we expect to resume sequential growth with our revenue still below end demand as we continue to work through the channel inventory correction. And in automotive, we expect the continued ramp of our Orin design wins. All in, we expect modest sequential growth driven by automotive, gaming, and data center. Revenue is expected to be $6 billion, plus or minus 2%. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 63.2 and 66% respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $2.56 billion. Non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $1.78 billion. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $40 million, excluding gains and losses on non-affiliated investments. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 9%, plus or minus 1%, excluding any discrete items. Capital expenditures are expected to be approximately $500 million to $550 million. Further, financial details are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website. In closing, let me highlight upcoming events for the financial community. We'll be attending the Credit Suisse conference in Phoenix on November 30th, the Arete Virtual Tech Conference on December 5th, and the JP Morgan Forum on January 5th in Las Vegas. Our earnings call to discuss the results of our fourth quarter and fiscal 2023 are scheduled for Wednesday, February 22nd. We will now open the call for questions. Operator, could you please poll for questions?
Thank you. I would like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, press star, then the number 1 on the telephone keypad. As a reminder, please limit yourself to one question. We will pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. Your first question comes from the line of Vivek Arya with Bank of America Securities. Your line is now open.
Thanks for taking my question. Colette, I just wanted to clarify first. I think last quarter you gave us a sell-through rate for your gaming business at about $2.5 billion a quarter. I think you said China is somewhat weaker, so I was hoping you could update us on what that sell-through rate is right now for gaming. And then, Jensen, the question for you, a lot of concerns about large hyperscalers cutting their spending and pointing to a slowdown. So if, let's say, U.S. cloud capex is flat, or slightly down next year, do you think your business can still grow in the data center, and why?
Yes, thanks for the question. Let me first start with the sell-through on our gaming business. We had indicated if you put 2 quarters together, we would see approximately $5 billion in normalized sell-through for our business. Now, during the quarter, sell-through in Q3 was relatively solid. We've indicated that although China lockdowns continue to challenge our overall China business, it was still relatively solid. Notebook sell-through was also quite solid, and desktop a bit softer, particularly in that China and Asia areas. We expect, though, stronger end demand, though, as we enter into Q4, driven by the upcoming holidays, as well as the continuation of the Ada adoption.
Vivek, our data center business is indexed to 2 fundamental dynamics. The first has to do with general purpose computing no longer scaling, and so acceleration is necessary to achieve the necessary level of cost efficiency scale and energy efficiency scale, so that we can continue to increase workloads while saving money and saving power. Accelerated computing is recognized generally as the path forward as general purpose computing slows. The second dynamic is AI, and we're seeing surging demand in some very important sectors of AI, in important breakthroughs in AI. One is called deep recommender systems, which is quite essential now to get the best content or item or product to recommend. to somebody who's using a device that is, like a cell phone or interacting with a computer just using voice. You need to really understand the nature, the context of the person making the request and make the appropriate recommendation to them. The second has to do with large language models. This started several years ago with the invention of the transformer, which led to BERT, which led to GPT-3, which led to a whole bunch of other models now associated with that. We now have the ability to learn representations of languages of all kinds. It could be human language, it could be the language of biology, it could be the language of chemistry. And recently, I just saw a breakthrough called Genes LM, which is one of the first example of learning the language of human genomes. The third has to do with generative AI. You know that the first 10 years we've dedicated ourselves to perception AI. The goal of perception, of course, is to understand context, but the ultimate goal of AI is to make a contribution, to create something, to generate product. And this is now the beginning of the era of generative AI. You probably see it all over the place, whether they're generating images or generating videos or generating text of all kinds. And the ability to augment our performance, to enhance our performance, to make productivity enhanced, to reduce cost, and improve whatever we do with whatever we have to work with. Productivity is really more important than ever. And so you can see that our company is indexed to two things, both of which are more important than ever, which is power efficiency, cost efficiency, and then of course productivity. And these things are more important than ever. And my expectation is that we're seeing all this strong demand and surging demand for AI for these reasons.
Your next question comes from the line of CJ Muse with Evercore. Your line is now open.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. You started to bundle Nvidia AI Enterprise now with the H100. I'm curious if you can talk about how we should think about timing around software monetization and how we should kind of see this flow through the model, particularly with a focus on the AI Enterprise and Omniverse side of things. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, CJ. We're making excellent progress in NVIDIA AI Enterprise. In fact, you saw probably that we made several announcements this quarter associated with clouds. You know that NVIDIA has a rich ecosystem, and over the years, our rich ecosystem and our software stack has been integrated into developers and startups of all kinds. But more than ever, we're at the tipping point of clouds, and that's fantastic because if we could get NVIDIA's architecture and our full stack into every single cloud, we could reach more customers more quickly. And this quarter, we announced several initiatives. One has several partnerships and collaborations. One that we announced today, which has to do with Microsoft and our partnership there. It has everything to do with scaling up AI because we have so many startups clamoring for large installations of our GPUs so that they could do large language model training and building their startups and scale out of AI to enterprise and all of the world's internet service providers. Every company we're talking to would like to have the agility and the scale flexibility of clouds. And so over the last year or so, we've been working on moving all of our software stacks to the cloud, or of our platform and software stacks to the cloud. And so today we announced that Microsoft and ourselves are going to standardize on the NVIDIA stack for a very large part of the work that we're doing together, so that we can take a full stack out to the world's enterprise. That's all software included. We a month ago announced the same similar type of partnership with Oracle. You also saw that Rescale, a leader in high performance computing cloud, has integrated NVIDIA AI into their stack. Monai has been integrated into GCP. And we announced recently NeMo large language model and BioNeMo large language model to put NVIDIA software in the cloud. And we also announced Omniverse is now available in the cloud. The goal of all of this is to move the NVIDIA platform full stack software into the cloud so that we can engage customers much more quickly, and customers could engage our software if they would like to use it in the cloud. It's per GPU instance hour. If they would like to utilize our software on-prem, they could do it through software license. And so license and subscription. And so in both cases, we now have software available practically everywhere you would like to engage it. The partners that we work with are super excited about it because NVIDIA's rich ecosystem is global, and this could bring both new consumption into their cloud for both them and ourselves, but also connect all of these new opportunities to the other APIs and other services that they offer. And so our software stack is making really great progress.
Your next question comes from the line of Chris Csco with Credit Suisse. Your line is now open.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Wonder if you could give some more color about the inventory charges you took in the quarter, and then internal inventory in general. In the documentation, you talked about that being a portion of inventory on hand plus some purchase obligations, and you also spoke in your prepared remarks that some of this was due to China data centers. So if you can clarify what was in those charges, and then in general for your internal inventory, does that still need to be worked down, and what are the implications as if that needs to be worked down over the next couple of quarters?
Thanks for the question, Chris. So as we highlighted in our prepared remarks, we booked an entry of $702 million for inventory reserves within the quarter. Most of that, primarily all of it, is related to our data center business, just due to the change in expected demand looking forward for China. So when we look at the data center products, a good portion of this was also the A100, which we wrote down. Now, looking at our inventory that we have on hand and the inventory that has increased, a lot of that is just due to our upcoming architectures coming to market. Our Ada architecture, our Hopper architecture, and even more in terms of our networking business. We have been building for those architectures to come to market, and that's what you see. We are always looking at our inventory levels at the end of each quarter for our expected demand going forward. But I think we've done a solid job, at least in this quarter, just based on that expectation going forward.
Your next question comes from the line of Timothy Arcuri with UBS. Your line is now open.
Thanks a lot. Colette, can you? I have a two-part question. First, is there any effect of stockpiling in the data center guidance? I ask because you now have the A800 that is sort of a modified version of the A100 with a lower data transfer rate. So one could imagine that customers might be stocking that while they can still get it. And I guess the second part of that is related to the inventory charge. Can you just go into that a little bit more? Because last quarter it made sense that you took a charge because revenue was less than you thought, but revenue came in pretty much in line, and it sounded like China was a net neutral. So is the charge related to just working A100 inventory down faster? Is that what the charge is related to? Thanks.
Sure. So let me talk about the first statement that you indicated. Most of our data center business that we see is we're working with customers specifically on their needs to build out accelerated computing and AI. It's just not a business in terms of where units are being held for that. They're usually for very, very specific products and projects that we see. So I'm going to answer no, nothing that we can see. Your second question regarding the inventory provisions. At the end of last quarter, We were beginning to see softness in China. We have always been looking at our needs long term. It's not a statement about the current quarter in inventory. As you can see, it usually takes 2 or 3 quarters for us to build product for the future demand. So that's always a case of the inventory that we are ordering. So now looking at what we've seen in terms of continued lockdowns, continued economy challenges in China, it was time for us to take a hard look of what do we think we'll need for data center going forward, and that led to our write-downs.
Your next question comes from the line of Stacy Rasgon with Bernstein. Your line is now open.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my question. Colette, I had a question on the commentary you gave on the sequentials. It kind of sounded like data center maybe had some China softness issues. You said gaming resuming sequential growth, but then you said sequential growth for the company driven by auto, gaming, and data center. How can all three of those grow sequentially if the overall guide is kind of flattish? Are they all just like growing just a little bit, or is one of them actually down? Like, how do we think about the segments into Q4 given that commentary?
Yes, thanks, Stacy. So your question is regarding the sequentials from Q3 to our guidance that we provided for Q4. As we are seeing the numbers in terms of our guidance, you're correct, is only growing about 100 million, and we've indicated that 3 of those platforms will likely grow just a little bit. But our pro visualization business, we think is going to be flattish and likely not growing as we're still working on correcting the channel inventory levels to get to the right amount. It's very difficult to say which will have that increase, but again, we are planning for all 3 of those different market platforms to grow just a little bit.
Your next question comes from the line of Mark Lipacis with Jefferies. Your line is now open.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Jensen, I think for you, you've articulated a vision for the data center where a solution with an integrated solution set of a CPU, GPU, and DPU is deployed for all workloads or most workloads, I think. Could you just give us a sense of, or talk about where is this vision in the penetration cycle, and maybe talk about Grace's importance for realizing that vision. What will Grace deliver versus an off-the-shelf x86? Do you have a sense of where Grace will get embraced first or the fastest within that vision? Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Grace's data moving capability is off the charts. Grace also is memory coherent to our GPU, which allows our GPU to expand its effective GPU memory, fast GPU memory, by a factor of 10. That's not possible without special capabilities that are designed between Hopper and Grace and the architecture of Grace. And so it was designed, Grace is designed for very large data processing at very high speeds. Those applications are related to, for example, data processing. It's related for recommender systems, which operates on petabytes of live data at a time. It's all hot. It all needs to be fast so that you can make a recommendation within milliseconds to hundreds of millions of people using your service. It is also quite effective at AI training, machine learning. And so those kind of applications are really terrific. Grace, I think I've said before that we will have production samples in Q1, and we're still on track to do that.
Your next question comes from the line of Harlan Sur with JP Morgan. Your line is now open.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my question. Your data center networking business, I believe, is driving about $800 million per quarter in sales. Very, very strong growth over the past few years. Near term, as you guys pointed out, and the team is driving strong NIC and Bluetooth attached to your own compute solutions like DGX and more partner announcements like VMware. But we also know that networking has pretty large exposure to general purpose cloud and hyperscale compute spending trends. So what's the visibility and growth outlook for the networking business over the next few quarters?
Yeah, if I could take that. First, thanks for the question. Our networking, as you know, is heavily indexed to high performance computing. We don't serve the vast majority of commodity networking. All of our networking solutions are very high end, and they're designed for data centers that move a lot of data. Now, if you have a hyperscale data center these days, and you are deploying a large number of AI applications, it is very likely that the network bandwidth that you provision has a substantial implication on the overall throughput of your data center. So the small incremental investment they make in high performance networking translates to billions of dollars of savings, frankly, in provisioning the service, or billions of dollars more throughput, which increases their economics. And so these days, with disaggregated and AI AI provisioning in data centers, high performance networking is really quite fantastic, and it pays for itself right away. But that's where we are focused. In high performance networking and provisioning AI services, in the AI applications that we focus on. You might have noticed that Nvidia and Microsoft are building one of the largest AI infrastructures in the world, and it is completely powered by Nvidia's InfiniBand 400 gigabits per second network. And the reason for that is because that network pays for itself instantaneously. The investment that you're going to put into the infrastructure is so significant that if you were to be dragged by slow networks, obviously the efficiency of the overall infrastructure is not as high. And so in the places where we focus, networking is really quite important. It goes all the way back to when we first announced the acquisition of Mellanox. I think at the time, they were doing about a few $100 million a quarter, about $400 million a quarter. And now we're doing what they used to do in the old days, in a year, practically coming up in a quarter. And so that kind of tells you about the growth of high performance networking. It isn't indexed to overall enterprise and data center spend, but it is highly indexed to AI adoption.
Your next question comes from the line of Aaron Rakers with Wells Fargo. Your line is now open.
Yeah, thanks for taking the question. I want to expand on the networking question a little bit further. When we look at the Microsoft announcement today, we think about what Meta is doing on the AI footprint that they're deploying. Jensen, can you help us understand where your InfiniBand networking sits relative to traditional data center switching, and maybe kind of build on that, how you're positioning Spectrum 4 in the market? Does that compete against a broader set of opportunities in the Ethernet world for AI fabric networking? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. The math is like this. If you're going to spend $20 billion on an infrastructure and the efficiency of that overall data center is improved by 10%, the numbers are huge. And when we do these large language models and recommender systems, the processing is done across the entire data center. And so we distribute the workload across multiple GPUs, multiple nodes, and it runs for a very long time. And so the importance of the network can't be can't be overemphasized. And so the difference of 10% in overall improvement in efficiency, which is very easy to achieve. The difference between NVIDIA's InfiniBand, the entire software stack, with what we call Magnum IO, which allows us to do computing in the network itself. A lot of software is running in the network itself, not just moving data around. We call it in-network computing because a ton of software is done at the edge of within the network itself. We achieve significant differences in overall efficiency. And so if you're spending billions of dollars on the infrastructure, or even hundreds of millions of dollars on the infrastructure, the difference is really quite profound.
Your next question comes from the line of Ambrish Srivastava with BMO. Your line is now open.
Hi, thank you very much. I actually had a couple of clarifications. Colette, on the data center side, is it a fair assumption that compute was down Q-over-Q in the reported quarter? Because the quarter before, Mellanox or the networking business was up as it was called out. And again, you said it grew quarter over quarter. So is that a fair assumption? And then I had a clarification on the USG ban. Initially, it was supposed to be a $400 million, really going to what the government was trying to firewall. Is the A800, I'm just trying to make sure I understand it, isn't that against the spirit of what the government is trying to do, i.e. firewall high performance compute, or is A800 going to a different set of customers? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So looking at our compute for the quarter is about flattish. Yes, we're seeing also growth in terms of our networking, but you should look at our Q3 compute is about flattish with last quarter.
Ambrish, A800, the hardware of A800 ensures that it always meets U.S. government's clear test for export control. And it cannot be customer reprogrammed or application reprogrammed to exceed it. It is hardware limited. It is in the hardware that determines A800's capabilities. And so it meets the clear test in letter and in spirit. We raised the concern about the $400 million of A100s because we were uncertain about whether we could execute the introduction of A800 to our customers and through our supply chain in time. The company did remarkable feats to swarm this situation and make sure that our business was not affected and our customers were not affected. But A800 hardware surely ensures that it always meets U.S. government's clear test for export control.
Your next question comes from the line of William Stein with Truist Securities. Your line is now open.
Thank you. I'm hoping you can discuss the pace of H100 growth as we progress over the next year. We've gotten a lot of questions as to whether the ramp in this product should look like a sort of traditional product cycle where there's quite a bit of pent-up demand for this significant improved performance product and that there's supply available as well. So does this rollout sort of look relatively typical from that perspective, or should we expect a more perhaps delayed start of the growth trajectory where we see maybe substantially more growth in, let's say, second half of 23?
H100 ramp is different than the A100 ramp in several ways. The first is that the TCO, the cost benefits, the operational cost benefits, because of the energy savings, because every data center is now power limited, and because of this incredible transformer engine that's designed for the latest AI models, the performance over Ampere is so significant that and because of the pent-up demand for Hopper, because of these new models that I spoke about earlier, deep recommender systems and large language models and generative AI models, customers are clamoring to ramp Hopper as quickly as possible. And we are trying to do the same. We are all hands on deck to help the cloud service providers stand up these supercomputers. Remember, Nvidia is the only company in the world that produces and ships semi-custom supercomputers in high volume. It's a miracle to ship one supercomputer every 3 years. It's unheard of to ship supercomputers to every cloud service provider in a quarter. And so we're working hand in glove with every one of them, and every one of them are racing to stand up Hoppers. We expect them to have Hopper cloud services stood up in Q1, and so we are expecting to ship some volume. We're expecting to ship production in Q4, and then we're expecting to ship large volumes in Q1. That's a faster transition than Ampere. And so it's because of the dynamics that I've described.
Your next question comes from the line of Matt Ramsey with Cowen. Your line is now open.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I guess, Colette, I heard in your script that you had talked about maybe a new way of commenting on or reporting hyperscaler revenue in your data center business. And I wonder if you could maybe give us a little bit more detail about what you're thinking there and what sort of drove the decision. And I guess the derivative of that, Jensen, how that decision to talk about the data center business to hyperscalers differently, I mean, what does that mean for the business? That it's just a reflection of where demand is and you're going to break things out differently, or is something changing about the mix of, I guess, internal properties versus vertical industry demand within the hyperscale customer base? Thank you.
Yes, Matt, thanks for the question. Let me clarify a little bit in terms of what we believe we should be looking at when we go forward and discussing our data center business. Our data center business is becoming larger and larger, and our customers are complex. When we talk about hyperscale, we tend to talk about 7, 8 different companies, but the reality is there's a lot of very large companies that we could add to that discussion based on what they're purchasing. Additionally, looking at the cloud, looking at our cloud purchases and what our customers are building for the cloud is an important area to focus on, because this is really where our enterprise is, where our researchers, where our higher education is also purchasing. So we're trying to look for a better way to describe the color of what we're seeing in the cloud and also give you a better understanding of some of these large installments that we're seeing in the hyperscales.
Yeah, let me double click on what Colette just said, which is absolutely right. There are 2 major dynamics that's happening. First, the adoption of NVIDIA AI in internet service companies around the world, the number and the scale by which they're doing it has grown a lot. Internet service companies, and these are internet service companies that offer services, but they're not public cloud computing companies. The second factor has to do with cloud computing. We are now at the tipping point of cloud computing. Almost every enterprise in the world has both a cloud first and a multi-cloud strategy. It is exactly the reason why all of the announcements that we made this last quarter since GTC, about all the new platforms that are now available in the cloud. A CSP, a hyperscaler, are two things to us, therefore. A hyperscaler can be a sell to customer. They are also a sell with partner. On the public cloud side of their business, because of the richness of Nvidia's ecosystem, because we have so many internet service customers and enterprise customers using Nvidia's full stack, the public cloud side of their business really enjoys and values the partnership with us and the sell with relationship they have with us. And it's pretty clear now that for all of the hyperscalers, the public cloud side of their business will very likely be the vast majority of their overall consumption. And so because the world's CSPs, the world's public clouds is only at the early innings of their lifting enterprise to the cloud world, it's very, very clear that the public cloud side of the business is going to be very large. And so increasingly, our relationship with CSPs, our relationship with hyperscalers will include, of course, continue to sell to them for internal consumption, but very importantly, sell with for the public cloud side.
Your next question comes from the line of Joseph Moore with Morgan Stanley. Your line is now open.
Great, thank you. I wonder if you could talk to looking backward at the crypto impact. Obviously, that's gone from your numbers now, but do you see any potential for liquidation of GPUs that are in the mining network? Any impact going forward? And do you foresee blockchain being an important part of your business at some point down the road?
We don't expect to see blockchain being an important part of our business down the road. There is always a resale market. If you look at any of the major resale sites, eBay, for example, there are secondhand graphics cards for sale all the time, and the reason for that is because a 3090 that somebody bought today is upgraded to a 4090, or a 3090 they bought a couple of years ago is upgraded to a 4090 today. That 3090 could be sold to somebody and enjoyed if sold at the right price. And so the volume of the availability of secondhand and used graphics cards has always been there, and the inventory is never zero. And when the inventory is larger than usual, like all supply demand, it would likely drift lower price and affect the lower ends of our market. But my sense is that where we're going right now with Ada is targeting very clearly in the upper range, the top half of our market, and early signs are, and I'm sure you're also seeing it, that the Ada launch was a home run. The 4090, we shipped a large volume of 4090s because, as you know, we were prepared for it, and yet within minutes they were sold out around the world. And so the reception of 4090 and the reception of 4080 today has been off the charts, and that says something about the strength and the health and the vibrancy of the gaming market. So we're super enthusiastic about the Ada launch. We have many more Ada products to come.
Your last question today comes from the line of Toshiya Hari with Goldman Sachs. Your line is now open.
Great. Thank you so much for squeezing me in. I had two quick ones for Colette. On supply, I think there was some mixed messaging in your remarks. I think you talked about supply being a headwind at one point, and then when you were speaking to the networking business, I think you talked about supply easing. So I was hoping you can kind of speak to supply if you're caught up to demand at this point. And then secondly, just on stock-based compensation, pretty mundane topic, I realize, but it is. I think in the quarter it was about $700 million. It's becoming a bigger piece of your OpEx. So curious how we should be modeling that going forward. Thank you.
Sure. When we look at our supply constraints that we have had in the past, each and every quarter this is getting better. Networking was one of our issues probably a year ago, and it has taken us probably to this quarter and next quarter to really see our supply improved so that we can support the pipeline that we have for our customers there. Now, that's our supply. We've also made a discussion regarding our customers' supply constraints issues. When setting up a data center, even getting data center capacity has been very difficult. And therefore, that challenges them in their purchasing decisions as they're still looking for certain parts of that supply chain to come through. So that hopefully clarifies what we were talking about regarding two areas of supply. We have provided to our incoming employees, but also once a year to our employees. And it's a single date in terms of when that is priced. So it's difficult to determine. But stock-based compensation is an important part of our employees' compensation and will continue to be. So we look at it from an overall compensation perspective. So up until now, and when we do the focal, we'll see about the same size with a few additions for the reduced level of employee hiring that we have right now.
Thank you. I will now turn the call back over to Jensen Huang for closing remarks.
Thanks, everyone. We are quickly adapting to the macro environment, correcting inventory levels, offering alternative products to data center customers in China, and keeping our OpEx flat for the next few quarters. Our new platforms are off to a great start and form the foundation for our resumed growth. Nvidia RTX is reinventing 3D graphics with ray tracing and AI. The launch of Ada Lovelace is phenomenal. Gamers waited in long lines around the world. 4090 stocks sold out quickly. Hopper, with its revolutionary transformer engine, is just in time to meet the surging demand for recommender systems, large language models, and generative AI. NVIDIA networking is synonymous with the highest data center throughput and enjoying record results. Orin is the world's first computing platform designed for AI-powered autonomous vehicles and robotics, and putting automotive on the road to be our next multi-billion-dollar platform. These computing platforms run NVIDIA AI and NVIDIA Omniverse, software libraries and engines that help the companies build and deploy AI to products and services. NVIDIA's pioneering work in accelerated computing is more vital than ever. Limited by physics, general purpose computing has slowed to a crawl just as AI demands more computing. Scaling through general purpose computing alone is no longer viable, both from a cost or power standpoint. Accelerated computing is the path forward. We look forward to updating you on our progress next quarter.
This concludes today's conference call. Thank you.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be doing a crypto show right now. We're immediately going to pivot to our crypto show. It's a don't go anywhere. The crypto show is starting right now. We'll see you guys over there. We're going to be talking the FTX debacle, all that good stuff. If you want to get around the PDT rule, check out Top Step. They are a funded account program. They fund trader and futures. They're the most legitimate funded account program in the world. You can find that link in the description. Check out Chart Prime. Great way to get some edge in terms of software and trading. Check out that link in the description as well. And yeah, we're going to do a crypto show. We'll see you guys over there. You won't have to go anywhere. And yeah, we'll see you guys over there.